Hashem Nasem and Asneach. Welcome to Hayat Tora. Be'ezat Hashem, we continue our Shalom Bayit lessons from Sefer Shuvu Lachem Le'ohalechem by Harav Eliezer ben David. Alav Shalom. Your side is coming up. Erev Rosh Hashanah. Okay, may his zechut be a protection to Am Yisrael. So, Miniat Ka'as B'mishpacha. Avoiding anger in a family household. אילו היינו מתייחסים את כל שער וחיי המשפחה כאל משימה הלכתית, אילו היינו חיים בתשוקה שעלינו לשאול שאלת רב לפני כל הרמת קול אור הכעס, אור הבאת כעס, כפי ששואלים אנו על קשותו של עוף, היו היינו שונים בתכלית. If we would have considered making angry faces before we actually come to anger, we would consider, let me rethink, let me go seek advice from my Rav, let me see what the holy books say about this. Or if we would have considered asking a big Rav if ka'as, altogether anger, is productive, like dealing with kashrut questions. Whenever there is a question in kashrut, we go, we make phone calls, we don't eat, we hesitate, we are very hesitant. Right? The life would have been different if we would have done the same thing at home before we would consider becoming angry, or we would consider making a statement that could have counterproductive consequences. Right? The life would have been different. Just think about that. Wait a moment. Am I making a right decision? Is this statement that I'm about to say a good statement? Is it positive? Is it negative? Is it going to make a good difference? Is it really worth it to say it? Generally, if a person thinks before talking, especially, is much better than just opening your mouth and utter words. As our Chachamim teach us, the only limb in mankind's body is horizontal and is not vertical, is tongue. In animals too, right? Why is that? So our sages teach us because tongue should be considered like a dead being. Somebody who dies, they bury him horizontally, not vertical. Right? Not only that, the tongue is in the gate of lips and is in the gates of tooth. Right? So Hashem wants us not to use it that often. Hashem wants us to open the mouth, right, after opening two gates and then utter words. Especially when a person is angry, right, and he makes a statement, that statement is very hard to reverse. Especially Rahmanan Listan, one's wife would not let it go that easily. Right? They remind you on your anniversary, Chas v'Shalom, right? They remind you on different occasions. Remember you said such and such 3 years ago? Remember that's how you acted with me? So a person needs to be very careful making statements, especially out of anger, lo aleinu. And this is why Harav ben David alav shalom says, consider becoming angry as if you want to go ask a shaila if this is kosher or not. Go ask a question from your Rav. Toratenu hine Torat Chaim, that our Torah is the Torah for living. It's the manual for life. Hamadricha otanu bederech bah nelech. Toratenu Agrisha teaches us what path to go. What is life and what is death? lo alenu. ועל פיה נוכל linot et hayinu tadir, and on what path a person should go, what should he consider all the times. Shomea alenu lizchor ki gam hapachim qetanim bechaye hanisuin Tora hem velimud hem serichin. Even little things like little jars in Judaism is important. Little things we see by Yaakov Avinu, that he endangered his life, that the Malach of Esav, Sad Shelav Esav, came to fight with him after he went back to get his belongings that he left alone. He endangered himself. Why? Because even the little kelim, little items, little things in life make a big difference. Those little moves that a person does out of anger makes a big difference. Al ha'adam lahargil lichshov lifnei kol teguva leityaes ka'asher nuv'im chilukei da'at. Every move that you make, go see what is the da'at behind it. What, should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? La'asud lifnei kol Aperatiyot shel kas v'lish'ol. Even before making a little bit of anger, think, is it really worth it? Is this kosher lahalacha? Should I do it? Kederech say, if you do this, ka'asher metrega alei mitradegim aleya, if you get used to this, ka'asher hi ofechet normalia, if it becomes normal, part of your life, like halacha question, is this kosher? Is it not kosher? Then one's life would become much more peaceful, more shalom bayit, right? And we need to mebatel all these bad behaviors that we have, right? And especially prevent anything when it's small, right? Whenever it goes to in-laws, a person becomes very sensitive, right? And especially mother-in-law, father-in-law of the husband side, very, very sensitive. Person needs to be very careful when he talks about them, right? Don't defend them in front of your wife, right? Because that's a sensitive issue, right? Understand your wife, understand your husband. Yeah, very difficult. Not taking sides is something very important, and usually a person would naturally take sides of his family and relatives. The Masechet Shabbat Nemar, it says in Talmud Bavli, Masechet Shabbat, the tractate Shabbat, Kol hakoes keilu oved avodah zarah. Whoever becomes angry as if he is worshipping false gods, idol worshipping. Hazwar HaKadosh Omer, the Holy Zohar says, כי המסתכל בפני אדם בשעת כעסו כאילו מסתכל על עבודה זרה. One who looks at the face of an angry person is like looking at the עבודה זרה, as looking at the idol, the big fat guy from China, right? With all the respects to Chinese, right? האדם במצב של כעס הופך להיות על עבודה זרה ממש. So a person could really turn this עבודה זרה away, right? Turn the עבודה זרה away. Don't allow the big fat guy come to your midst in your home. Remove it. Don't open the door. By avoiding the anger, you're not opening the door to the big fat عبودة زرا that is called anger. Right? When it comes, it doesn't have to come as a form of a guest. It just turns you to be one of those عبودة زرا's chas v'shalom. Lo aleinu. As it says, Lo yeh lecha elokim acherim, that there should not be any other gods. Al panai, on your face. Why does it say al panai? Literally al panai, your face could become avodah zarah chas v'shalom through anger. Right? Advertising for anger management classes. You don't need to go to anger management classes. The government has these programs that people have issues with anger and they commit misdemeanors or other crimes. They're supposed to go to these anger management groups and they teach them how to control their anger. We don't need those classes. We have Torah Kedusha. By studying how Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Aleihem Shalom, how our Avot, Moshe Rabbeinu, they acted, how they controlled their anger, we can overcome our own anger. So, Lo yeh lecha elokim acherim al panai. Nivra mashmaot inyan ze hakeshro lebet hayachshudu. So may we have this zechut to control our anger. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen. Amen.